Hey guys, good afternoon. What I wanted to make this video about is keto. So I'm going to be starting a keto diet after the New York State Fair is over. The reason I'm waiting till after the fair is I am moving. This is the last time I'm probably going to be able to go to the fair. So, obviously I can go to it again, but I probably won't be up here in New York in the summertime again for quite a while once I move to Florida, so this will probably be my last chance for a while to go. It's one of the only fun things to do around this boring ass place, so it is something that I want to do at least once before I depart from New York State. I used to go like every day of the fair because they have these awesome free concerts, and I've seen a lot of really cool artists there. The artists aren't as great as they have been in the past this year, for my taste anyway, for who I listen to, but I think I'll go to a concert or two and just have a good time. I'm also in the midst of trying to have this gigantic moving sale, so it'll be tricky to fit all that stuff in there, but I'm doing it. And after that's over, I am going to be starting the keto diet. So I just wanted to talk about how I decided on doing the keto diet and also how I came to a point where I decided I was going to do a diet in the first place. So I've tried many diets, many diets. I was a vegetarian for a while, vegan for a very short time. I have done Weight Watchers. I've tried, a couple of different things that I thought would help me lose weight, and they worked a little bit, but the overall theme that I would experience is just not necessarily like being super hungry, because my problem is not like overeating. I don't really eat that much. My issue is that I just like to eat things that are bad for me. And I don't know why that is. Growing up, I ate really good. My mom and my dad both really were strict with my food, and not strict like, oh, you have to eat this and you're on a diet or anything, but they were just like very healthy meals that I had. I wasn't really allowed to drink soda or juice or have any like candies and stuff, like every once in a while as a treat, but not something that was daily or even weekly, something that I could have. I mostly just drank milk or water. I had very healthy foods, fruits and vegetables every day, and that was just a way of life for me. Then when I was 14 years old, I started to gain some weight. I was in a really abusive relationship with someone through the rest of my high school career, or whatever you want to call it, and that was really difficult for me. And I also was on the Depo-Provera shot, so I wound up gaining quite a bit of weight because of that. And I really was not eating that much at all, but it's just the hormone imbalance and everything that was created from that shot, and just stress and issues and stuff like that that I was going through at the time. So I gained quite a bit of weight. I went from 160 is what I weighed when I was like 14. 15 years old, I weighed about 190. And by the time I graduated high school, I weighed about 230. And I graduated high school about 4 years ago, and since then I have gotten up to 272. The majority of my weight was gained on the Depo-Provera shot before I was even eating bad foods. It was just a hormonal imbalance. I mean, I was eating the same things pretty much I was eating my whole life, except for I started to eat a lot less because I always felt nauseous, and somehow I just still was gaining weight. Once I was a senior in high school, things started to change a little bit. I was hanging out with friends a lot. I would go different places and go to McDonald's and stuff like that, and it still wasn't like an everyday thing. But as soon as I turned 18 and had my own car and was driving around and had a job and was doing what I wanted, I started eating really badly. And I can remember when I was younger thinking about, like, I can't wait till I'm older so I can eat whatever I want. And that was something that was in my head, and once I turned 18, I truly, like, that was the way I lived my life, and I've been living my life like that pretty much since then. I mean, there's been times here and there where I've tried different diets. I tried a pickle diet, a watermelon diet, these different crazy things to try and lose weight. I basically just gave up on all sorts of diets. I mean, about 6 months ago, I heard about the keto diet online, and I was watching YouTube videos about it, and then I was like, oh, well, I think maybe I could do this, because you can still eat a lot of the foods that I like. After I watched some videos, I thought that maybe it would be too difficult to do. I saw some articles online, and you have to keep track of macros, and you subtract this from that, and it's just like, I was just not ready for that commitment. I have been going through some things lately. I have pretty much been at, like, the lowest point I've been in a really long time, and I really want to make a change. I want to do things differently, and I've been in that mindset for a while, and I've been slowly, changing little things to make myself happier, but one of the things I haven't changed is the way that I was eating. I kind of gave up on the idea of the keto diet because it was just too hard, and honestly, eating stuff has been one of the only things that has really brought me a lot of joy lately, thinking about, all the different things I could eat or whatever. I know it's ridiculous and it might seem stupid to some people, but for people who understand, eating can bring you happiness. Like, even I don't eat that much, but when I can eat really tasty food, I love it. And I'm a foodie. That's what I think I do have some sort of an issue, but at the same time, like, I really truly am a foodie. I love all different kinds of foods. I love trying new things and trying new foods, and I don't think I'm ever going to stop doing that. I really do want to travel different places and try new foods, but I want to be healthier, and I think that there can be a healthy balance between that kind of thing. So basically, why I decided to go on a diet is I recently went to Hershey Park, and I'm going to make a story time video about my terrible experience with Hershey Park and why you should never go there. This isn't necessarily one of the reasons why, because I got myself to this point in life where I am this big. I'm not blaming Hershey Park for this particular part. There's other issues that I have with Hershey Park that I will get into. I'll spill the tea on that another day, but for the time being, I'm just going to let you know about this part. So I went to Hershey Park, and I immediately went to the very first ride that I wanted to ride on. I was very excited. I love roller coasters, so I went to this roller coaster. I got in, and I couldn't lock my harness. So a employee came over and pushed down on it to try and lock it, and it wouldn't push down. And then another employee came over and pushed down on it, and it wouldn't go down. And then another employee came over and pushed on it, and then the other one that was standing there pushed on it with them, just for them to lock the harness around me because I was too big to fit in it. And unfortunately, they did let me go, which is probably not the best thing, because when you have to do that and someone doesn't fit, that's when people wind up falling out of the rides. But in that moment, they had a lapse of judgment, I had a lapse of judgment, I just let it go, and that could have resulted in something really terrible. So I do not recommend that. If that happens, I know it's embarrassing, but just get off, because it could mean you fall out of the ride, and that is not a good situation. If you ever have any issues with your harnesses not fitting, if you're too small, too big, whatever, it's always safer to just get off. That is a tip. But anyways, I stayed on, and I felt like I was going to fall out the whole time. I was sliding up and out of the ride, and it was just not good, because the harness wasn't on me properly, and I didn't fit, and I could not feel my legs. It was cutting off the circulation to my legs the whole time. When I got off the ride, I felt lightheaded and dizzy, and it was just a terrible experience. It was embarrassing because they had to wait for me. They had to hold the ride from taking off so that 3 different employees could come over and push down on it to try and get me in there. And it was scary and it was embarrassing. And so that day was a really hard day for me, but I said to myself, you need to do something about this. You know, you want to be healthier, you want to feel better, and I want to be able to go on roller coasters. And if for no other reason, I don't want that to ever happen again. And it's not necessarily embarrassment, because I don't feel like, you know, being bigger is something to be embarrassed about. You know, it's not, I wasn't as affected by the embarrassment. Of course, I did feel a little bit of embarrassment that everybody was looking at me and that obviously I didn't fit on the ride and stuff, but the embarrassment quickly went away. What was the thing that stuck on to me and that really bothered me is that I can't go on roller coasters. And I recently, when I was in Disney World, I did go on some roller coasters, and I was able to go on roller coasters there, but they seem to be generally more poo friendly, as they call it, at Disney World and Universal than most other parks. But if I keep eating whatever I want, there's going to be a time where I can't fit on those either, and that's not something that I want to happen. So I want to be healthier, and I want to be able to ride roller coasters. So I'm going to be starting keto, and the reason I decided on keto is because about, I think the day after that happened, I was looking on Instagram and I saw a girl that I went to school with, her results of her keto diet. Her results were amazing. I had looked into it before, and I, you know, something about her transformation, I don't know whether it has anything to do with anything that I know her or whatever, but it made me feel like I need to look into this again. So I looked into it more, and I found a really great channel, Lauren Brazy, absolutely amazing. She is so real, so down to earth, so nice, and I just relate to her so much. She is 100% real. She isn't like, oh, you have to do this, have to do this, have to do this. She talks about, I think what she calls it, survival keto. It's absolutely amazing, and I feel like that's something that I can do and I really want to do. So I really want to vlog and show my journey, the good, the bad, the ugly, from the beginning to the end, from, you know, this point to how far I come. I told you how much I weighed. I really didn't want to say that on the internet, but it's fine, because I'm not going to weigh that forever, and in order to document my journey for anybody watching and for myself to see how far I come, I have to put that out there. So I am going to just be starting keto in probably 2 weeks, maybe sooner than that, it depends. I'm going to go have one last hurrah at the New York State Fair and eat a bunch of crappy foods. I have been eating pretty much better than I had been eating, and not eating whatever I want. I'm not eating 100% keto, but I am eating less carbs overall than I was before, so I'm trying to get myself sort of in the zone for it, and then I'm going to go full on in a couple of weeks. So I'm going to vlog along that journey. I'm going to show you guys what's going on, what's happening. Please like this video if you liked it, subscribe, click the notification bell if you're interested in following me on this journey and knowing when I upload videos. I am not great at this yet. I do have a really good camera. I used to make beauty videos and stuff here on this channel. It used to be called Beauty is for Everyone. I changed that name because I want to branch out and do more than just beauty. Yes, beauty is a big part of my life. I was a licensed cosmetologist. I really do love makeup and hair stuff, but that's something that as I've gotten older, I do not have as much time to indulge in. At this point in my life, my main focus is losing weight, becoming a happier person, moving to Florida, and hopefully going to theme parks all the time and being able to fit on those roller coasters. I'm really not used to doing vlogs. That's not really what I was doing before, and especially here where I live, I feel like carrying around my big DSLR camera to vlog, although it would be a lot nicer footage, would just be awkward, and I don't know if I'm ready for that yet, but I may get there. Until then, you've got iPhone vlogs. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to stop blabbering now. Have a great day.